Hi there, you are on IGCSE Maths Tutors, and in today's video we are going to answer a question on probability. Remember, on the last video I had explained to you what we mean by probability, how to calculate the probability of an event, and how to calculate the probabilities of the combinations of different events using the AND rule and the OR rule. I am putting the link of this video on the screen now, and I highly recommend that you watch it before proceeding further with the current lesson. So, what does our question say? Well, the first part of the question says, Leon has a fair dice. He throws the dice twice. What's the probability that he gets 5 both times? Now let's have a look at a dice. The dice has 6 faces, and if we would like to get 5, this means that we are looking at 1 out of these 6 faces. So the probability of getting a 5 the first time is 1 over 6, and the probability of getting 5 the second time is also 1 over 6. As you remember, when we combine probabilities with the AND rule, meaning that both conditions, both events must happen, getting 5 the first time and getting 5 the second time. In this case, we apply the AND rule and we multiply these probabilities. So we multiply the probability of getting 5 the first time, which is 1 over 6, by the probability of getting 5 the second time, which is another 1 over 6. And hence the answer is 1 over 36. The second part of the question is not so straightforward. It says Alice throws a dice 3 times. What's the probability of getting 5 exactly once? You must really be careful about the wording when it says exactly once. It means that Alice can get a 5 either on the first time she throws the dice, or on the second time, or on the third time, provided that she doesn't get it more than once. So, in order to put this in numbers, we have 3 options. The first option is to get the 5 on the first throw and not to get it on the second or the third. The second option, which means or, so either we satisfy this first option or we satisfy the second option, which is not getting a 5 on the first throw but getting it on the second and not getting it on the third throw. Or we can also satisfy the requirement in the question via the third option, where we should not get a 5 on the first throw and we should not equally get a 5 on the second throw, but we should get our 5 on the third throw. Now, what does this mean in numbers? It means that with the first option we get a 5 on the first throw, and the probability of this is 1 out of 6. Now, the probability of not getting a 5 on the second throw is 5, because we can get any of the other remaining 5 faces. So the probability of not getting a 5 is 5 out of 6 on the second throw, and the probability of not getting a 5 on the third throw is also 5 out of 6. Note that we must satisfy all 3 conditions in this first option in order to satisfy the requirement in the question, which is getting 5 only once. Hence, we use the AND rule. We should get a 5 on the first throw and not get a 5 on the second throw and not get a 5 on the third throw. Hence, we multiply these 3 probabilities together. 1 over 6 multiplied by 5 over 6 multiplied by 5 over 6. Now, the second option is not to get a 5 on the first throw, and the probability of this is 5 out of 6, and to get a 5 on the second throw, and the probability of this is only 1 out of 6, because 5 is just only 1 face out of 6 faces, and not getting a 5 on the third throw, and the chances of this happening is 5 out of 6. Again, all these 3 conditions must be satisfied, so we apply the AND rule and we multiply 5 over 6 by 1 over 6 by 5 over 6. Now the final option, which can satisfy the requirement in the question, which is getting 5 only once, is not to get a 5 on the first and the second throw, but to get it on the third throw. And hence, the probability of not getting a 5 on the first throw is 5 over 6, and not getting a 5 on the second throw is also 5 over 6, while getting a 5 on the third throw is 1 over 6. And similar to the other two options, all three conditions must be satisfied. Hence, we use the AND rule and we multiply 5 over 6 by 5 over 6 by 1 over 6. And since we're allowed to choose between option 1 or option 2 or option 3, hence here we use the OR rule, which means that we add the probability of option 1 to the probability of option 2 to the probability of option 3. And if you work this out, you will finally get 75 over 216, and this is the right answer. I hope you found this video helpful. If you have, please give it a thumbs up. If you have a question, please leave it in the comments section below. And as usual, I will see you again in the next video. Goodbye for now.